And next up we have Errol Lamb. Errol, thanks.
Good evening. Is it cold in here? Yeah. Is the university turning the heat down on us or telling us something? I think it's cold. Anyway, for those of you who were awake on a couple days ago in the BG News, there was this article, that opinion piece that as a member of the coalition, Say No to Columbus Day, wrote. And I would like to share that with you. And as a first reminder is that next Wednesday when you come back at noontime, we're going to have a little thing out there at noontime. So any of you, please come. Bring your drums, bring your guitar, bring yourself, bring your friend, bring your professor, bring somebody, or come at least. Christopher Columbus, we're going to say no to Columbus on that day. And I'll just share with you the article, that opinion piece that came out in the BG News. I'll read it for you. It's long, but it isn't that long. Monday, October 12, 2009 marks the 39th time that Columbus Day has been a federal holiday. Some areas, mostly those with a large Native American population, do not celebrate Columbus Day. Others, like Cleveland's Little Italy, have parades and festivals celebrating it. The capitals of Ohio and South Carolina are named in honor of Columbus, as is the nation's capital. If you ask most people about Christopher Columbus, you will hear how, though being an experienced sailor, he thought the earth was round and wanted to prove it by sailing west to India, but instead discovered a new continent. The discovery led to the colonization of the Americas by Europeans and began the birth of our country. Look how wonderful he was, they will tell you. Perhaps the story was created to provide a national hero, or maybe as a sign that white Europeans, especially religious ones, could conquer all. The real story of Columbus is hardly ever told, almost certainly because it is too gruesome. By the time Columbus crossed the Atlantic for the first time, 1492, most experienced sailors knew the earth had to be a sphere. There had been people from several different countries that reached the shores of the Americas, most notably Vinland, founded by Leif Erikson in present-day Newfoundland, roughly 500 years before Columbus sailed. The exploration of Columbus is more well known for two reasons: the use of firearms and his receiving better press coverage, as the invention of the printing press spread his story far and wide. Most people know the rhyme, I'm sure all of you do here, all good Americans. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. You know that, right? Good. And you still know. What should be known is in 1492, Columbus started slavery. His quest was not that of exploration, but the search for riches. His conquest of the land and the peoples of the Americas were for this one single thing. His second voyage brought, there were four in all, his second voyage brought soldiers with guns to enslave the people and force the mining for gold. This slavery is nothing new to Columbus. He had gained his sailing knowledge by transporting African people to Portugal to be sold as slaves. Upon his, quote, discovery of the Americas, he began the first slave trade across the Atlantic. First, he shipped Caribbean islanders to Europe. Then, after killing around 8 million people in the Americas, he shipped slaves from Africa to the Caribbean to replace the lost gold mining force there. An excerpt from the book by Bartholomew de las Casas called "The Devastation of the Indies" will tell you something about the atrocities that were committed. Quote, "And the Christians with their horses and swords and spikes began to carry out massacres and strange cruelties against them. They attacked towns and spared neither the children nor the aged, nor pregnant women, nor women in childhood, not only stabbing them and dismembering them, but with cutting them to pieces as if dealing with sheep in the slaughterhouse. They laid bets as to who, with one stroke of the sword, could split a man in two, or cut off his head, or split out his entrails with a single stroke of the pike. They made some low wide gallows on which the hanged victims' feet almost touched the ground, stringing them up, their victims, in lots of 13, in memory of our Redeemer and his 12 apostles, then setting them burning at their feet and thus burn them alive. To us, we say Columbus was not a hero, not a great explorer. He committed genocide and was sent to prison for his deeds. The legacy of Columbus is that of murder, greed, theft, and might making right as a policy still used in the United States and in many countries around the world. This is the person that is celebrated every October in this country. Think about these things while enjoying your Monday off. Columbus is only one of 3 people that have a national holiday named honoring them. He is not close to measuring up to the others, Jesus Christ and Martin Luther King Jr. We need to end Columbus Day and the veneration of this depraved man. So please join us and bring your friends, your professor, whoever, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you are. Next Wednesday out here, noon, Wednesday, October 14th. Join us. Thank you.
And next up on the list, it says Faye Lamb. It has a question mark at the end of it. That's why I have to put the upward. All right, yeah, so Faye Lamb, everybody, give her a round of applause as she approaches.
Good evening. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to see the new movie by Michael Moore, Capitalism, A Love Affair. Errol and I saw it on Monday, and we're so taken away by everything that's in it that we saw it again the second time. There's a song at the end of the movie as the credits are showing, which is really, really relevant. And I know we could tie in Columbus, certainly, also to the song somehow. Anyways, it's by Woody Guthrie, and it's called, what's it called? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So no matter what your religion or non-religion, I think there's a lot of relevance in this. Jesus Christ was a man who traveled through the land, a hard-working man and brave. He said to the rich, "Give your money to the poor." But they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. Jesus was a man, a carpenter by hand, his followers true and brave. One dirty little coward called Judas Iscariot has laid Jesus Christ in his grave. He went to the preacher. He went to the sheriff. He told them all the same. Sell all of your jewelry and give it to the poor. And they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. When Jesus came to town, all the working folks around believed what he did say. But the bankers and the preachers, they nailed him on the cross and they laid Jesus Christ in his grave. Thank you.